Everybody wake up, pay attention. The show is starting.
Here we go. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Humbling Guitar Buying, Selling, Trading, Modding, Fixing, Breaking, Reviewing, Playing Podcast.
Perfect execution, Steve.
Nailed it.
And listen to me, my voice is most of the way back. We decided to not record 2 episodes last session, and so we waited a few days, and now I am mostly a person again. We're still got a little room to improve, but we're most of the way there. So this first listing
was sent by Nick Carter, formerly of, wait, no, never mind.
Currently of
the Backstreet Boys?
Exactly, yeah.
This is a used ESP 1986 MIJ M3 rare import vintage electric guitar. It is $810.
Being sold by Music Go Round.
By Music Go Round in Columbus, Ohio. Do they ship?
Shipping is $70, Steve.
Oh, right. Did I just read that?
I don't know.
I tried to read it. I've never seen this guitar shape before.
It's amazing. And I like the reason I grabbed this ad is because I don't understand ESP prices at all. Like, we get sent listings all the time from all over the place, and it'll be like, oh wow, here is a all black ESP Super Strat with one pickup in the bridge and a Floyd Rose, and it's $16,000 for some reason. Yeah. And then this thing, a 1986 made in Japan ESP in a shape I've never seen before. It's like a radical heavy metal Mosrite.
Yeah.
And it's only $800.
It does have the bridge. So you pointed this out earlier that there's a lot of
this thing's a bit mangled
things going on, and I think what it's missing is a Floyd Rose.
Either a Floyd Rose or like a Kaler or something like that. There had to be, or some old funky like 80s style bridge.
Yeah.
Because the hole is bigger than the current bridge is able to cover. That still might be an original bridge, and maybe someone tried to modify it or something, but I don't know. This thing has been used, which honestly is a good sign. It's a good sign when an older guitar has some road damage on it, because it means that someone was really using it, because it was probably a fun guitar to play. It looks fun to play.
I found another one of these on Reverb for $1,700.
It's got that HSS setup.
Yeah, HSS. I don't know if there's any more for sale. And of course, it's like hard to look for these things.
How much is that one on Reverb right now? On Reverb,
the one I just showed you was $1,700.
$1,700, $900 more than this.
And I'm trying to find, because we did also find like a much older one, but I cannot re-find that listing.
Oh,
rookie move.
It looks like these only come up every now and then, because when I grabbed this ad like a week ago, I couldn't find any info. I couldn't find any other examples of this.
And the mess is that the M3 is a name that's been reused for a Super Strat. So, yeah, it's like really hard to find this shape, because you look for M3 and it doesn't come up.
The Super Strat, they have different versions of it. The M3 is like a reverse of this.
Yeah.
It's this flipped over, like similar kind of like carves on the edges and stuff like that. It's this,
but boring.
Yeah, way more boring than this. This is amazing. I want this. It's honestly like really, even the color is like this very iridescent take on like Baskin Robbins pink.
Oh, I actually like really, it's like a burgundy mist.
Yeah, but a little bit lighter, a little bit pinker.
It's and
beautiful.
Maybe not metallic. No, it's
got an iridescent shimmer to it. It kind of
they very lazily just call it pink.
It kind of reminds me of the finishes that you would find on old Fender MIJs. That very thick, like iridescent poly.
I like this description: age, vintage, color, pink, construction, bolt-on, key feature, vibrato. Like, that's the key. There's nothing else noticeable. But
the body shape is the key feature here.
Origin, it says USA, despite the fact that the title is ESP 1986 MIJ. But you know,
it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
$800. I think someone should get it.
Like, it's got that like scoop, that super scoop on the
so you can
this
really
is probably what inspired the PRS Silver Sky.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This probably inspired all the PRS guitars.
Yeah.
That deep scoop on the lower horn.
Every PRS guitar.
And that lower horn that's a good 13 inches long.
Even though PRS was making guitars before 1986. This is what inspired.
This is what inspired
them all.
Paul saw this guitar and he's like, I've got a great big idea.
Paul went into the future, saw this guitar, went back to 1974 or whatever, and built his first guitar.
Right. It looks like it should be like a BC Rich shape. Like when BC Rich tries to make something that's not pointy, they try to make something that's more normal, but then still end up making something really weird. Like it's got kind of that vibe, and it comes from that era as well.
This kind of gives me like ESP Streamer vibes.
ESP Streamer?
ESP Streamer.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that one.
ESP Streamer. It's the Haku Masoon. They made Haku Masoon.
Oh, I'll have to find a picture when I edit this video.
Or don't, whatever.
I won't.
Just Google it, kids.
Yeah. All right, so is there anything else we want to say about this other than it's beautiful and someone should buy it? If it's still available?
Yeah.
Like if this is your style at all, I want you to buy it so you can tell me if it's any good.
It looks cool.
I mean, it's $800, and
it's kind of cracking me up that
the other one on Reverb right now is $1,700.
It kind of cracks me up that it has vintage tuners on it. It's like kind of pretty hyper modern design and then vintage tuners.
You know what? I like it. I have no problem with that. It's not like this thing it was meant to have a Floyd or anything like that. It doesn't have a double locking situation.
I thought it did. It definitely has a different bridge.
I really suspect that it had some sort of clunky 80s, like kind of like they didn't want to license Floyd, so they kind of made their own thing.
Sure.
But it wasn't really a Floyd. It was just trying to look that way by being a chunkier, bigger Strat bridge. You know, I have a feeling there was something like that on there at some point.
Yeah.
Or someone tried to retrofit something on there and cut it open a little bit more. But I don't know. It's got cracks and dings and dents. But like I said, I think that means that it might be a fun player.
It looks like a good time.
Yeah, this thing definitely looks like a good time. This is a fun date right here.
If you were if you were just doing like, you know, you're in a one of those bar bands that plays 80s night, you know, 3 times a month or whatever. I feel like this is, you know, of the various guitars you could have, I think this is one that would be both like very rare, but very obviously fitting for the theme. Because I feel like
also it's just like, yeah, if I was like in an 80s hair metal cover band sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't doing like a Steel Panther metal shop sort of project,
sure.
Like I would be all over this.
Yeah, I think your guitars for that are like, you know, like a George Lynch or like an Explorer shape, like Flying V, something like that, right? But those are all the ones that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, these are all obviously pretty 80s. This is also like very 80s, but I've never seen the shape before.
So I already called this a heavy metal Mosrite.
Yeah.
Because it has that reverse offset, long lower horn thing going on. Hair metal Ramones cover band. It's got legs.
Just think about it.
Just think about it. That's what this guitar is for. A hair metal Ramones cover band.
Yeah. If you enjoyed thinking hard and you still want to continue to think hard, or even if you don't want to think hard and you just want to make some fun sounds,
think soft if you want.
Head on over to chasebliss.com. Check out what they have to offer. They've got a lot of really cool pedals over there.
Oh my goodness. Every pedal that they have over there is cool.
Yeah.
Some of them are hot.
Are they hot? Do they run hot?
No, they're stolen. I don't know. I don't have any way to back up that useless claim. It just felt like a fun thing to say in the moment. Chasebliss pedals, they're more creative than you are.
Yeah, go check them out.
They've got all these switches and knobs, and they make crazy sounds. They make sounds that you didn't know could even come out of your guitar. You don't even need to put a guitar into it. You can put a microphone into it, and it'll make the craziest sound you've ever heard in your life. Go check them out. Click the link in the description. If you buy something, tell them that we sent you. There you go. How's that for a sponsorship?
That's a great sponsorship,
That's a
Ryan.
really good sponsorship.
Let's get to this week's topic.
boy, here we go. Controversy time.
It actually is the first time, Facebook, I'm definitely hitting the point where a lot of people are. My Facebook feed is pretty much random ads.
Facebook is a wasteland.
It's either like actual ads for companies, like ads for news articles, or posts from John Cusack. Like the pedal guy, John Cusack.
I know, right? He's really hitting the algorithm lately. I don't know what's going on.
But I got one of these random ads, news links because it's always just promoting Facebook pages.
You know what? Facebook has turned into the yellow pages where it's
that's
just
what it feels like.
And you go on there hoping to see stuff from your friends, and it's just like, cool, I just learned about every plumber in my area.
Apparently, people are complaining that the current tour, which is called the No Name Tour, Jack White just released an album called No Name.
Right.
He's going on a tour for it.
All this new gear that he came out with Third Man gear is all connected to this album. It's all stuff that he's using.
Yeah, I mean, I know he did that with the previous album.
Yeah.
Like a lot
Seems
of
like kind of a smart thing to do these days, honestly.
You have an idea for a thing you want to put on an album, and you're like, I need to figure out how to make this sound that I'm hearing in my head. And then you just start, you find a pedal builder who you think can do it. Yeah. So the quote that he has is, what he's being criticized for is that he's not playing extra long shows, because the whole thing right now is like all of these tours. I think like the obvious one is Taylor Swift, the Eras tour. Right. It's like a 2.5, 3 hour long show. I think the Metallica tour is like a 2-3 hour show. Bruce Springsteen plays like a 2 to 3 hour show.
Right.
Of course, historically, all the jam bands like Fish and whatever, they all play like 2-3 hour shows.
There's this whole class of live show now, which basically takes the main act and turns them into a festival, where they're just like, I personally, like, I don't spend big money on concert tickets, so I don't go to these things. My sister loves to go to like Taylor Swift and stuff like that. All these big like festival style shows that cost tons and tons of money and last for hours and hours and hours. I'm with Jack, guys. I read the article that you sent me, and he's like, hey, this is rock and roll, man. A show's supposed to be like 45 minutes at most.
So here's his quote. Been hearing a lot of chatter throughout the year of this glorious electric touring about how long our sets are, quote, supposed to be on stage, as if the length of the show determines how, quote, good it is. I know that we're living in a current era where people like to say so-and-so played 3 hours and brag about it the next day. Ha, 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 ha. I'll let our fans know that my mind has no intention of, quote, impressing y'all in that context. The Beatles and Ramones played 30-minute sets, and if I could, I would do the same. So I believe this tour, he's playing about an hour 20, something like that.
It's more than enough.
And, of course, there's this whole thing about ticket prices, which I looked up. The original price tickets for the Santa Barbara Bowl, which prices are all over, the venues vary, but the basic ticket at the Santa Barbara Bowl was $62, which $62 to see Jack White
for an hour and 20 minutes
is pretty freaking cheap in the current space.
And I'm betting there's opening bands.
I have no idea. Maybe.
Even if there's not, that's way cheaper than I thought. That would be an expensive ticket for me, but I would pay $60 to go see Jack White.
This article says the initial shows on White's current tour have come in around 1 hour and 30 minutes, giving him enough time to play songs.
And people are complaining.
From the solo album, White Stripes, Raconteurs, and Dead Weather.
I don't have the attention span even for an hour and a half. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I love going to shows, but when I go to shows, they're like dive bar shows where the bands play for maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like every now and then, like every other year, I find myself at like, they might be Giants or something like that. And they'll play a 2-hour show. And it's like, wow, this is a lot. This is a lot to watch.
It does look like he's touring without support, but I saw a video the other day where I thought he had, like, somebody was filming the opener. I don't know. There's one thing I will say. I do think the argument that like the Beatles never played long sets, which is true. I looked it up, and the longest Beatles set I could find was like 42, 45 minutes, something like that. The famous, their last show, the Rooftop. show, very famous show of theirs. I think what clocked maybe 50 minutes. That was like the longest concert I could find. The Shea Stadium. There's a Shea Stadium. What's that word called? Documentary.
Yeah,
it's like a 45-minute documentary. Like the footage from that. So the one counter I will say, like I think, and he talks about the Ramones. I've never been to Ramones shows. I don't know. I didn't look that one up. Well, the counter I will I will say to the Beatles is, while they did have a massive catalog when they stopped touring in 1966, because they took like a 3-year gap between stopping touring and then playing their last show, they were only like 5-6 years into their careers at that point. So the idea of like a band at that stage playing, in the modern sense, like, oh, you're on like maybe your second or third album, you're going to play a 45-minute, maybe 1 hour show at that point. Like I get that. And so I think that I apply those kind of rules to the Beatles, whereas Jack White has been in this game for 25 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So the idea that he has the catalog to play a longer show. The flip side of it is the dude's probably going out there and basically lighting his guitar on fire for an hour and 30 minutes straight. What else do you want from him?
Well, that's what I want to say. Like,
no, I'm going to say this right. I'm going to say this. Okay. He's not fucking John Mayer. He's not playing slow ass fucking blues for you to fall asleep to. He's Jack goddamn motherfucking White. He's there to light the room on goddamn fire. All right, next topic.
That was beautiful, Steve. You brought a tear to my eye.
Does Jack? I guess the Jack White. I guess Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground is kind of a ballad.
He's got some slower songs, but yeah, no, he's got a different. He doesn't have 3 hour show energy.
I just it's not even that. Like I just can't imagine. One, I can't imagine listening to Jack White for 3 straight hours because it's so intense. And two, I was thinking about like back when we were young.
That's what I was trying to get to, but you keep interrupting me.
Go ahead.
It's like thinking about every show that I've ever played, the style of music that we play and that I've played in every band that I've been in, is that like I get about 30, 35 minutes in and I need to recoup for 2 weeks. It's a different style of music where you throw your entire back into every power chord and you're trying to wreck yourself on stage because it's your one show in a month.
Yeah.
And like that, those are the types of shows that I like to go to, like all the dive bar shows and stuff like that. And like little touring 3 pieces and 4 pieces that are trying to make $50 a night or whatever. And it's just pure body abusing passion. I don't want to see those people play for 3 hours. I don't want to be that person playing for 3 hours. I want to self-destruct on stage as hard as I can in maybe 45 minutes. Let's be honest, like Dinosaur Ghost, when we play shows, we maybe have half an hour of material and we stretch it out a little bit. With some banter and some extra little things here and there. But the 3 hour gig thing, I can't even imagine being entertained by that.
Right.
I'd be like, I'd need to take 3 intermissions and need to go take a walk for an hour for each one. And then like, I don't understand why people are doing it or how people are doing it, how there's become literally the only reason they're doing this is to, in my estimation, is to justify these insane ticket prices. Like if you're gonna pack out an arena and charge everyone $500 each, I guess you better fucking give them 3 hours.
I don't even know if, because I have
$65 to see Jack White for an hour and a half. That sounds like a steal to me.
I have this vague memory that like the starting prices on like the cheap seats for Taylor Swift were like an hour. And I don't want to take anything away from any of these bands that do long shows, including like John Mayer. I'm sure his Dead and Company shows are super long.
Well, that's like a jam band thing. Like, but everyone goes to those to get high all day long. But like are people getting high at Taylor Swift? Like,
probably.
I kind of hope they are.
But my point is like those, there's like beginning of tour and end of tour photos of like Taylor Swift where it looks like she's like gone through like getting ready for a bodybuilding competition.
Right.
Because her legs are just like massive. So like it's a workout, it's a dedication. You have to get there. Like I don't want to detract anything from those people, but I think that it's almost like the way I read Jack White taking this position, it's almost like he doesn't see himself as a legacy act. Like maybe he's like, and they're saying he's playing songs from his entire catalog, but it's almost like his approach is like, no, you should come in. Like, I want my new music. And I don't know what the set list is, but it's like, he wants his new music to be the focus of this tour. It's like the Taylor Swift Eras tour. She's going to go through every era. It's going to take some time.
And I bet you there's going to be
do the whole thing,
like stories and theatrics in between things.
Yeah.
And there's going to be big extended bits where people are running around with flags and parachutes or whatever.
Outfit changes, you know.
Right. It's a whole production, and I'm sure people get their money's worth out of it. I'm just saying, as someone who's been on stage, I don't want to be on stage for 3 hours. That's insane.
I just think it's interesting. Like I said, I kind of see how, his argue is, he finishes and says, he says, I've seen a plethora of rock and roll gigs that lasted 45 minutes and blew my mind and inspired me beyond belief. Read the room, leave everyone exhausted and inspired. Hopefully, like you said, like you want to be tired. If Jack White can make you tired in an hour and a half, that's you. Why do you need more?
I also want, like, if I'm going to see a band that I think is cool, I want to see the bands that they pick to open for them.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be exposed to new things. And if I don't like one of those bands, I'm going to grab a beer and I'm going to hang out in the courtyard and wait for them to be done. And I'm going to have social time and stuff like that. Like a full 3 hour, 2 hour dedicated set for one artist is just, it's not what I want when I go to a show.
Yeah. He says he has, quote, never phoned it in, and whether it's 20 minutes or 2 hours, he's giving the room what the room is prompting and to do and share. And that doesn't mean if people cheer louder, it's going to be longer. There's no set list. It's not a Marvel movie or a Vegas residency. It's rock and roll. It's a living, breathing organism. And I think like that's a very like kind of old school punk rock attitude about it. Like I'm sure he knows what songs he can and can't play off the cuff. There's probably songs he's like, I'm definitely not playing that one song off of Elephant. Like I'm not even going to bother learning it.
Yeah, to full credit to these artists and bands, legacy, new, etc., it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
If you are able to put together a show that lasts hours and keeps your audience engaged and entertained the whole time, and you can pull it off night after night, that is amazing. It is amazing. I just know that myself, not just as a performer, but as like an audience member, I'm not built for it. I want the show that I'm watching to be an explosion. I want it to be a demolition derby. I want it to have all the energy of a luchador fight, of a professional wrestling match. I want to be entertained. I don't want to risk looking at my watch and being like, oh man, this is really dragging on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's a fourth ballad. We're on to another ballad. Like I don't want to be tempted to look at the time and be like, how long is this going to be? I want it to be like a fireworks show where it starts and it's like, ooh, and then you hit that grand finale. A good fireworks show is maybe 20 minutes, right? Like that's what a rock and roll show should be. It should leave you wanting some more. I don't know. I just can't. Maybe it's because I don't go to those sorts of shows. I just can't wrap my head around it. I will say though,
I'm thinking. Go ahead.
I did finally get to try the Panaverb. At NAMM. Holy hell! It's a beautiful. That amp is pure decadence.
Yeah.
Like what I imagined that stereo trem was going to be. Good job. Jack White and Fender, like really, really freaking cool amp. Like I'm never going to spend $3,000 on one, but as I was playing it, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get why someone would, like if I had a recording studio, I'd have one of those as let's try this on this track. I've got this amp that has a harmonic trim that pulses in between a 15-inch and a 10-inch speaker, and it feels just decadent. Like I've been using that word because it is the perfect word for the experience that I had. Just sitting there jamming for like 20 minutes or something like that. And the reverb's got this sweet little like Fendery drip to it. It's not like an outboard spring reverb unit where you get the full surfy drip, but it's got that nice like chirp on the edge. But it like the trail of it is nice and lush and dark. Like it's a really good amp. I was really impressed with it. And I don't usually get that impressed with amps. So
right.
This is the Jack White episode, apparently. Jack, if you watch or if one of your people watches, I wouldn't mind being in contact with you guys at some point.
We've only been talking about him for 16 minutes.
I know, right?
No, I just think like
Jack, come on the show.
Cool. I think this is like the nice thing, actually. I will say about all of these bands right now that are doing, as much as like it feels a little weird. All of these bands that are doing like 20th or 20, they're like my college bands, right? They're all doing their 20th anniversary tours of some album that they released, obviously now in 2005. But it's one of those things where most of those bands, like you're kind of getting the same show that you got 20 years ago.
But that's what people want.
Right. And the difference is that like 20 years ago, they had like 2 albums. And so you heard all of the songs off of one album and 2 or 3 songs from you heard almost like maybe 80% of the new album and 4 or 5 songs from the first album. And now 20 years later, these bands are playing their entire, like some of them playing that entire album, whatever the anniversary album is, front to back. And then maybe they open with 1 or 2 songs from somewhere else in the catalog, and they end with 1 or 2 songs from somewhere else in the catalog. And so it keeps the entire set at like a pretty tight 1 hour. It's 45, 50 minutes of music and 10 minutes of interspersed story time. And you're in and out, and it feels good.
Yeah.
Like it feels good. I need to send an Instagram message.
Right now?
Future Steve. I'm not going to remember this. Last I think it was 2 years ago, I went to go see Copeland on their Beneath the Medicine Tree tour, and I posted some pictures on our account. And Brian reached out and said, like, hey, next time we're out, like, let me know, and I'll see if I can get you some comp. So note to self, I need to send we're in the window where I need to send that message because their show is in San Diego in like a month. So
you'll be reminded when you watch this episode on Monday.
Exactly.
Here's a question I have.
Yeah.
And I'm asking it without having an answer ready for myself.
Sure.
If you were going to go to a show that you knew was going to be 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Who would you want it to be?
Oh my gosh.
Like who, like what situation? Spell out like what flavor of show would you be cool with it being 3 hours long?
One act. You're saying like a 1 act.
Well, not like here's something I'm imagining that I would probably really enjoy.
Yeah.
It would still be freaking long, but like if it was like a dream scenario of like, it's like 1989 and I get to go watch Johnny Cash, but then the whole show is him dragging like other people on stage with him. And it's like, oh, now I'm going to play 3 songs with Willie Nelson. And then he brings out Link Ray or something like just like someone running basically a musical variety show. I feel like I would have the attention for that. Where it's like, you've got your anchor kind of celebrity musician who's running the show, but then they turn it into this variety thing where it's like every 15, 20 minutes, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're here too. And then you get to the end of it and I know, but Eric Clapton's probably done a bunch of this stuff, the Crossroads things.
Sure, yeah, Crossroads.
But it would all have to be people that I'm actually interested in, right. Which is an impossible thing.
Like here's the thing on that in some ways, like these all-day festivals, some of these all-day festivals that happen, like depending on how the lineup was mixed, I could see like, the perfect mix of bands. I could do it for like 8 hours straight, because it's like, okay, I can do like Paramore for like, I'm thinking of it because you got the knockoff of the When We Were Young poster over here. And so I'm thinking like, well, I could totally do a thing that was like all of those like emo era bands and pop punk and whatnot, where it's like, okay, like at 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to see this band, and at noon, I'm going to see this one, and at 1, and it's just, and if it was coordinated right, just to my taste, you know, I would see all of these bands back to back to back to back, and it would be freaking pretty great.
Right.
Need like an hour intermission somewhere in there. Put a real shit band in the middle of it so I can take a break.
When it's a festival and you're on festival grounds, it's like, well, I know why I want to catch this band, but then this band's playing. I'll be in earshot of them when I'm over at the food trucks.
No, exactly. So,
you know,
so
like, and you sit in chill places.
So that's one thing. The other thing I would say is like back in the day, we talked about like, well, we would play 45-minute set or whatever, 30, 45-minute set, but we would be part of like a 4-band bill, all playing 30, 45-minute sets. So 4 bands, 45 minutes, that's a 3-hour show. And if it was the right band, like when it was like us, I guess like if you're performing, are you really paying, you know, whatever. But it's like, if it was like us, Sweetheart,
sure.
You know, I can't, I'm trying to remember like other bands we played with that we were like really enjoyed being part of their shows. Like that's a 3-hour show that like I'm pretty much involved in the entire time. Like not involved in because I'm in the band or whatever, but like I'm paying attention. So the idea of like putting together a 3-hour show is like what, you know, not that big of a thing. It's more like listening to one band for 3 hours, I think feels exhausting.
Like I wouldn't, like you start listing off my favorite bands that I've ever loved, bands that like in my mind, there's no bad tracks on any of their albums. Sure. I enjoy it all. I wouldn't want to watch a 3-hour long Presidents of the United States of America show. Yeah. I wouldn't want to watch a 3-hour long Cake show.
Yeah. Like we went to the They Might Be Giants. Like you said, it was like 2 hours.
Right.
And it was it was like every track from Flood and then a couple, like some other things mixed in, but there was also an intermission in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the way that they do it like really works, but yeah, it would be really hard like to just be like, oh, I'm just going to listen through like 4 albums back to back to back to back or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Standing seats.
In the rain.
In the rain. So anyways, we've done this topic to death. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, just give Jack White a break. He's giving you what he thinks you need, just like every other artist is trying to do.
I feel like that kind of article, it doesn't actually exist to actually complain about anything. That was his way of advertising to everyone our age. Like, don't worry, this one's not 3 hours.
Maybe.
Hey, go look at my ticket prices. They're kind of reasonable, huh? And they're not, my shows aren't 3 hours long. You can do this.
I mean, he
come out to his show. It's only an hour.
He frames it like people on his socials were complaining that like, oh, the show wasn't long enough. Oh, that's what I was going to say is last year.
There was probably 20 people complaining and then the, 10,000 other people not complaining. For sure. We know how things work on the internet.
Last year I went and saw, the Death Cab Postal Service tour. And that's one where it's like 2 albums back to back that kind of involve the same person in 2 different bands.
Right.
But that like really worked really well. Like that's one where it's like I was never bored.
That's what it was like when I went.
I don't even think I took a bathroom break. And it's just really weird for me because I usually go to the bathroom all the time. I'm going to the bathroom right now. I'm cathed up. I'm not.
Damn. I went to go see Cracker play. And
in like 1997?
No, like 10 years ago or something.
Oh, okay.
Lauren bought me tickets, and she went with me. It was a great date night. But if you're familiar with the band Cracker, then you might also know that the lead singer-songwriter, David Lowery, was also the lead singer-songwriter for a band called Camper Van Beethoven. So they like toured together. So it was like probably a 45-minute Camper Van Beethoven set. And then switch out some members, take an intermission for 15 minutes or something like that. Then they came back up on stage as Cracker.
Yeah.
And did another 45 minutes. And it's like they're like the styles are a little bit different, but it's the same singer, same kind of songwriting style. One's a little bit more Americana, one's a little bit more alternative. And like it was a really fun show, and it was a good time. You know?
I think there's ways.
And it was a belly up, so I could sit on a nice seat.
I think there's ways to execute that. One that would be really fun is would be to see a what's his name, Kirsten? Is that, I forget, the dude from Guyatone.
Yeah.
Like
I like that. I'm a huge fan of that band, but I can never remember the guy's name. But you have his name on the tip of your tongue.
Well, because I know him from like so many other projects.
Right.
But I want one where so he's was in a band called Guyatone, but he's also a like prolific music producer. Yeah. I want a show where it's like a Guyatone reunion, but then interspersed into it, he's just doing all of the other songs that he's worked on, but he's not making a big deal about it, because sometimes these
or
guys,
he's like bringing it like he's playing is all Guyatone songs, but then he brings out like Dave Grohl to like drum.
Yeah. Or like I'm thinking like back in the day, if you went to go see Fountains of Wayne and in the middle of it they just start doing like Oneater's songs.
Right.
And but he doesn't make a big, like he doesn't say anything about it. He's just gonna do, because sometimes like I have this live album, or my parents have this live album that we would listen to on road trips. It was Neil Diamond live. And he's like, I went number one twice. It's just this whole thing. And like I guess I'm like, I understand why he did. He's like, I went number one twice with this song, because it was Red Wine, which was a hit for him in like 1968. And then it was a bigger hit for UB40. But it's this whole thing. And if you don't, for me as a kid, like not knowing that was a Neil Diamond song, that was like a neat thing. But then it's like, I want to see somebody just do it where it's like, it leaves where if you don't know, you're just like, why did he just play that song? And then you look it up later and you're like, you learn something.
Sure.
Where it's not being told to you. It's just like done as if to assume like you should know. You're at the show, you should know. I want that.
All right. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
We've done this to death. I'm sure everyone's just bored to tears right now hearing us talk about
there's going to be
not wanting to have to endure 3 hour long shows.
There's going to be
while you're listening to a podcast that's going to end up being 3 hours long.
Exactly. That's what the comments is going to be. This ad was sent by Joey Scar.
We got our Joey of the night.
El Gato. It's a $500 Telecaster. A cat-themed custom guitar by Solo Instruments in Colorado. It is $500. Where is this being sold on? Etsy. A custom guitar for cat lovers. The Telecaster is a T-style guitar with a very special look, built with a combination of quality, third-party, and solo-made parts. Mahogany body, maple neck, has one-of-a-kind cat-shaped pickguard wood, leather knobs, a Telecaster bagged and Solo logo, engraved headstock, and stained with homemade turmeric, stained and finished with an all-natural linseed and pine resin varnish.
They stained the body with turmeric.
Apparently.
Interesting.
One-of-a-kind guitar will make you purr with delight. Speaking of purr, it comes with a cat-shaped guitar stand called the Purchase and a custom long-haired fur guitar strap to complete the cat theme. The guitar plays well and has a classic tele sound with single coil pickups. Please note the natural turmeric stain has faded slightly since the original photo shoot. Looks more like blonde. It looks more blonde like the photos on the guitar.
Yeah, that's gonna fade with age for sure.
Looks great, but not as yellow as in the photos.
I wonder if you could stain a guitar with like beets or something.
Oh, I'm sure. You definitely could stain it. You can stain
natural stains on a guitar. I think there's something there. But I think the real thing here, the real product, they're trying to sell a whole guitar. They should just be trying to sell pick guards.
Yeah.
Like it to me, it visually kind of looks like all the screw holes just line up with a traditional Telecaster pick guard.
Yeah.
So this feels like,
if it doesn't, you could make it.
You just
to do that.
A quick swap, a pick guard swap, and you've got a cat pick guard. Like we've all seen how crazy everyone went for the Hello Kitty Strat.
Yeah.
Novelty shaped pick guards that are functional and work and give you a theme immediately. Like that's $100 idea. They should just be selling the pick guard for $100. Like you want a cat pick guard? Here you go. Here it is. Turn any Telecaster into a Telecaster.
This is a really clean take on a parts caster beyond the cat theme.
Sure.
Some of the parts do look a little, something about the the bridge in particular, that whole plate.
Sure.
A bit.
It's budget.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing where I look at that and I go like, I don't know if this is worth 500, but I also feel like if this was slapped on with like,
it feels
like
very
a premium, like a master. Does Mastery make a tele bridge or like one of those?
I think so.
Or like some kind of, I don't think I'd want a half bridge.
It feels very kit. It feels like a kit guitar.
I think,
and they used the kit hardware, and the whole thing just screams.
And it's probably
$100 kit.
It's probably a kit neck, which is fine. Like all those things are fine, and it's this weird thing because the knobs are really cool. They're like wood and leather knobs. The logo for the solo instruments is like, is burned in different places, and I think it looks really cool. And it's I feel bad saying this, but if you dropped, this is $500. If you dropped like a $250 bridge on this thing, I'd be like, that's worth $1,000. But as it is, I'm like, I don't know if this is worth $500.
I feel like the details would betray it a little bit at $1,000 once you saw it in person. I think the big thing here isn't the guitar itself. It's not even the execution or the parts. Mm-hmm. It is the concept of that pick guard.
Yeah.
The concept of the pick guard, that's the money of this thing. That is the business that is waiting to happen.
I do like your idea. Like, yeah, you could sell this pick guard by itself for probably like $50, $75.
You get into this thing is clearly like laser cut. Mm-hmm. You get into customization where you're making pick guards that look like people's pets. Like
that might take too much work.
I don't know. You set up some templates show me your cat and let me see if I can mock up a pick guard that looks close to it, or like a dog pick guard or whatever. Yeah. Like people love doing stuff like that. People love immortalizing their pets as part of decorations for their most beloved objects in their house. It's a no-brainer. That concept sitting right there is pure money, and they just need to explore it.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
That's my take on it. What next, Steve? Another sponsor?
Well, the next sponsor is y'all.
The Patreons, my favorite sponsor.
If you want to support this show, if you want to be a sponsor of this show as an individual monthly pledge contributor, head on over to patreon.com/60 Cycle Humcast. I'm having trouble talking all of a sudden. We're for as little as $1 a month, or as much as $25, as much as you want.
$2,500.
Yeah, you can support the production of the show like this person has at the $1 level. Earhawks Music. Thanks, Earhawks Music, for supporting the show, and thanks to everyone. You'll see all your names at the end of the episode when it scrolls by. Not with Stanley Sharkey this time.
No, we played a song last week. We'll play a real song at the end of this song. At the end of this episode.
Ryan, you want to do this? Oh, let's do this first. So we
got some mail.
Yeah, we'll do mail. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. That a member of our community, Sassy Cat, passed away. Right now, and it still will be when this episode goes up because it's going for about 2 weeks from today. All of his gear is up for auction. I got the link from, I think it's someone in his family. I think it was his sister. Because I reached out and just wanted to say, hey, he was a really big part of our community, and we're going to miss him, and just let us know if there's anything that we can do. And, a couple weeks or a week or so went by, and then she said, here's a link to all of his gear. It's being auctioned. And I can say, like, it's been up as of right now, like 3 days. And definitely a lot of people I know in the community are saying, like, yeah, I'm going to try to get this. I'm going to try to get that, because there's a lot of really cool stuff up there. So I think
there is some really cool stuff.
I think the family is
Sassy had some cool tastes.
This stuff isn't going to get missed. It's not going to become estate sale fodder where somebody walks in and, pays $20 for, a vintage, whatever.
Right.
Kind of a thing. Like, it looks like they're going to get some pretty fair prices for a lot of this stuff. Like, maybe not Reverb market value, but definitely good value. But I'm going to put the link down below. If anyone wants to check that out, definitely jump on.
It's definitely worth checking out, even just to look at some cool stuff.
Yeah.
He had some cool stuff that he collected.
I was thinking about it this week, and I don't remember if it was just a video that he posted, because he wanted people to hear some sounds, or if it was like he jumped on a live stream we did a while ago, or I just don't remember. But I remember hearing him play one time and just being like blown away, like, because I feel like a lot of times, like, I just don't really know what to expect from like people's ability on guitar. And he had jumped on the show before just to talk and whatever. And he just kind of seemed like a quiet older guy. And then he posted this thing and was just like ripping it up. And I was just like, man, like I really had no idea like how much of how good of a player he was. And then now seeing all the gear, the funniest thing to me about seeing the gear is I'm looking at it going like, yeah, we demoed that. We demoed that. We demoed that. We demoed that. Oh, I remember talking about that on the show. It's like probably like
I did have the thought that I could take the link to that auction and I could send it to brands and be like, you see the influence that we have.
There are two,
which is like a totally like commercially crass thing to do, and I wouldn't actually do it.
There are two of our pedals on there, up on there right now.
But it's like he's part of our community. Yeah. Like he was, it was more than just about the gear. Like he was buying stuff within our social scene.
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah, and I'm not saying that like as a commercial. Like look at all this stuff we sold, but it's like that's how big of a fan he was of. Because there's other pedals I saw in there where I'm like, oh, I know the person who he watches that demoed that pedal and that one and a bunch of the guitars you did not demo.
I bet there's a lot of people in the audience, in our audience and other channels' audiences that they can look at their gear collection and be like, yep, that one's because of that channel, that one's because of that channel, that one's because of that piece of media, that one's because of that video. Like that's just the gear world that we live in now. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful in a way.
Anyway, check out the link. See if maybe there's something you want to jump on. It's all going to go support.
Just the voyeurism of it. Go look at the cool stuff that Sassy had, show and tell.
Let's do some mail. We got this mail from Guyatone.
Yeah.
Big G there.
I got a blade here.
Check out this. What is that?
Steve, they're a business. They're going to be fine with people seeing their address.
I don't know if I hope that's a business address.
If it's not a business address, I'll blur it out.
If it's not a business address, we won't know. Anyway. It's like a spaceman thing on the back.
We don't know what this is going to be.
We have no idea what this is.
We're a little bit worried.
It could be a glitter bomb for all we know.
What if we end up having to just edit this out of the episode?
Nate's not sending us a glitter bomb.
But what if it's like papers? Like he's serving us a cease and desist for something. What is this?
Why would...
Oh, it's going to be pics.
Oh, cool.
And yeah. I think he's answering the call.
Oh, right.
For Patreon merch.
A bunch of stickers.
We got a bunch of cool variety pick packs here from Guyatone. They're like cool, like they've got all sorts of shapes cut out of them sort of situation.
So Guyatone is I don't know if I'm going to explain this perfectly.
I want one of these Guyatone stickers.
Feel free to do a giveaway.
Is there a message on here? It's about the picks.
Yeah. These are crystal fragment. I think he messaged us about these. I'm
going to steal one of these stickers and then Steve will have the rest to give out to Patreons.
Yeah. Let me take a look at these.
Yeah, I want to see one.
That's not, but I think some of these are like these picks that you can like change the shape of them or something.
Huh. But they've got a really unique holy thing going on.
Oh, maybe it doesn't.
Like grip holes in them or something like that.
But there's some triangle picks. This is really cool.
Interesting.
Thanks, Nate. Really appreciate it. So I pulled out this pack of stickers. This is for DeMont Guitars, and DeMont Guitars is I don't know if they're the owner or the distributor. Do you know the story?
So from what I understand, Guyatone, as we know, is a Japanese brand, and DeMont Guitars is the U.S. branch of Guyatone. What's going on is that people in Japan, they don't think Guyatone is cool. So they sell Guyatone stuff to Americans because we think Guyatone is cool because it's Japanese. They sell DeMont stuff to Japan.
Really?
Because, and this is the DeMont logo. It's a steer head.
Yeah.
Because Japan thinks American stuff is cool.
Yeah. And apparently,
so it's like they're selling Guyatone stuff back to Japan under an American rebrand. Is my understanding of what's going on. That might be a rough explanation of it, but that's basically the story that I understand. So yeah, huge thanks, Nate, for sending us a care package. Bunch of cool like little stuff to go out to Patreons. I'm gonna keep this sticker and throw it on something. I've got that cool Guyatone pedal I bought a while back.
Yeah.
So I've got a sticker I can put on the bottom of my skateboard or something.
One of these stickers to throw on my sticker wall.
They're cool because it's got the Guyatone big G logo on there, and they're like metallic gold. That's a cool sticker.
This is fun. I'm looking forward to getting some of that up. I've been trying to figure out, because we've been running a little low on stuff to send out for the folks who support us on Patreon, and so this will do some work.
If you have a company and you want to send us stuff for us to distribute as marketing materials to our Patreons, the address has been up here.
Yeah.
So just send us whatever you want. If you want Steve and I to wear your shirts, if you're in a band and you have merch and you want to see us wearing your shirts, I wear an extra large. Steve wears a double extra.
Double 2X.
So maybe there you go.
Maybe
send it to us. You could see your stuff on your favorite podcast, unless your favorite podcast is someone else's podcast, but you could see it on this one.
Yeah. This almost all my t-shirts right now are gear shirts.
Oh yeah. Well, we had a big discussion on Threads about about surf brand apparel shirts. And I had the thought afterwards, like, I don't even wear surf brand shirts. All I wear is gear shirts. All I wear is like guitar brand shirts and stuff, because that's what I get for free. If it's clean, I'm going to wear it, you know? I mean, if any surf brands out there want to send me shirts, I'll wear those too. But I really only wear like band and gear shirts.
Yeah, only real surf bands send us shirts. Or real surf brands. This last ad was sent by Snarky K.
You got one in, Snarky. Good job.
Custom made Stratocaster 2022 vibrant neon green finish, scalloped fretboard and kill switch. This splendid 6-string Saga boasts some subtle scratches and signs of use. What was that on purpose?
Which part? I think it's all on purpose.
This splendid 6-string Saga boasts some subtle scratches and signs of use, yet maintains a striking allure. Its primary prowess lies in its great guitar playing capabilities. Notably, it's equipped with EMG passives, an innovation originally hailed from Steinberger. These pickups are renowned for their robust tonic clarity. Are they? Okay,
I don't know.
Moreover, this guitar flaunts a kill switch, adding versatility to its performance. Its neck is a 24-fret, fully scalloped marvel designed for effortless playability and extended reach. The roller nut ensures smooth tuning stability, while the tremolo bridge provides the freedom to bend notes with precision. In summary, this very cool guitar promises an absolutely enchanting musical experience.
So this is a highly personalized, like, kit guitar situation. There's things here that I love, and there's things here that I don't love. The price is the price. It was $350. If I remember correctly,
$350 plus $69 shipping.
So it's like, you know, if you're scallop neck curious,
yeah,
this is a cheap way to explore that. I would probably recommend getting this if you are curious about scalloped frets, and you'll probably find out pretty quick that you don't actually want scalloped frets. But here you go. Here's an entire scalloped fret necked guitar.
This is I think a really good example of great idea on paper.
Well, it's a really cool personalized guitar, which is a really cool thing to have until you try to sell it. Because you see someone's playing this on stage and you're like, that is 100% their guitar, and only their guitar. And if this person is ever famous, that will be known as their signature instrument. But the moment you try to sell it, everyone's just going to be like, no one wants all your stickers and your crazy, like customized little details and the gritty, choppy things you did with the pick guard, and the fact that you took these passive EMGs. They're the ones that have like the pitted metal, like they look aged, or they look like they were like pulled out of a volcano or an asteroid or something like that. But then this person spray painted them pink. So there's like metallic pitting coming through this neon pink situation. We've got a purple pearloid pick guard. Every knob is a different neon color.
Wait, what are you seeing on the pick guard that you think is?
Look at how it's chopped up around the bridge.
Oh, the pick guard. Sorry, I thought you were saying something about the pickups though.
The pickups are spray painted.
Yes, they are spray painted. And
underneath is like this pitted metallic gold.
No, that's Fleck. That's somebody taking a gold paint and going like this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought they were like those textured metal pickups.
No, these are like black EMG selects.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe so they HCs or something.
Oh, they glitter sprayed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so they took black EMGs and they glitter coated them in gold, and then they spray painted over that with neon pink, and then did metallic splatter. Yeah. Okay. All right.
You'll see the pit in the picture. Okay. Like this is on like a.
Thank you for catching that.
On like some kind of like Care Bears towel. This guitar is like. It's funny because in the pictures here, the stickers are gone, but in one of the pictures, it's like very clearly somebody really loved Lisa Frank. There's like Lisa. Oh, yeah. There were Lisa Frank stickers all over this thing. A lot of them are gone now.
Where's the picture where they're all gone?
Just like the main picture right here. They're not all gone, but
there's a ton of stickers on it.
But on the very first picture in their set, there's way more.
A couple more. This neon picture?
No. This picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
there's like 1, 2, 3. There's a lot more.
There's been like a 30% reduction. There's still plenty of stickers in every picture of this guitar, Steve. Like if I was trying to sell this thing, I would have taken all the stickers off and just take it down to the bright colors.
I think
this thing glows under a black light,
and I think the green, purple, pink combo actually looks really cool.
It's cool. I love a colorful guitar, and this thing is colorful.
You want to pair this guitar with the new Digitech mono neon whammy.
You kind of do.
Like that would be sick.
So I'm gonna list things that I like here, and then I'm gonna list things that I don't like. I like the colors. I like the spray painted pickups.
Yeah.
Why not? It looks fun. It looks cool. They're aging cool. When the paint flicks away, they look even cooler. I usually don't like pearloid pick guards, especially when they're colored. It usually cheapens a guitar.
Yeah.
In this case, because of all the other color, it works.
Yeah.
I think it actually works in this case. I like the neon yellow volume knob. I like the orange arcade button kill switch. I like the pink tone knob. I like the green body. I like all this colorful stuff. I hate the bridge. I hate that style of bridge that has the weird, like, kind of like diamond pattern on the saddles. It always looks cheap to me. It looks like it looks like a $20 bridge off of Temu.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. Oh, I guess it's a roller. I will say I didn't know. I was
like when people put like, I know they buy them because they have roller saddles. You don't need roller saddles on a Strat trim. Yeah. That it's putting things where they don't need to be.
I've been staring at this trying to figure out why the pick guard is cut this way, and it's because this guitar used to have like a 2-point system on it.
Right. It's been mangled and redone.
So it's been mangled to fit, and then they got rid of that trim and put this one in there.
I bet there was a Floyd on this.
You think there was a Floyd?
It looks like they dropped a block in here to fill that space out. I could be wrong, but you wouldn't have needed to cut all that for a 2-point Strat trim, like a normal, like Wilkinson or something like that.
No, you're right. You're right.
There was something else going on there that we don't know what it is now.
My contemporary has the extra wide, but that's also kind of a weird, like, that's a shallow bridge.
Right.
A weird thing.
Like I said, this is a cheap way to get into trying something with a scalloped neck.
Yeah.
But I think the bridge is the thing I hate the most. I just don't like that style of bridge.
$350 though. Do you think that price is fair?
I think it's fine. I think it's going to be hard to argue with this person about the price. I mean, you always, my gut tells me that if this was local and I was tempted to make an offer on it, I'd probably offer like $275 and then accept $300. That would be, it would purely be to try out a full scalloped neck, because like apparently people are curious about scalloped necks, and they just sit around like, oh, I just want to try a scalloped neck. Every time I've tried a scalloped neck, I've been like, oh, you know what? No, thank you.
Yeah,
I think I'm fine.
All right, Ryan, we got to do Adventurers Club. Of course, Adventurers Club is where we take one of the ads from this week and declare it the winner. I don't know, the winner of the week, the best ad of the week, our favorite ad of the week. And
then the person who sent it to us, Steve, emails them and gets them lined
Congratulations!
up with a $25 digital gift certificate printed on heavy digital cardstock.
That's right.
It's the good stuff. I'm just saying, it is the good stuff. It is a gift card, a virtual gift card to any retailer or fast food establishment of your choice. Void where prohibited.
I mean, it could be, I guess any retailer pretty much covers.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want it to be, Steve will make it happen. Yeah. So anyways, who are we going to pick? We got some good ones this week. ESP.
Go. Yeah, the El Gato.
The El Gato.
And this Vibrant Strat.
I feel like the ESP is the one that I'm most likely to want in my life.
The ESP was going to be my vote, but I also miss spinning the wheel.
You vote ESP. I'm going to vote Snarky.
Okay. All right.
Let's put it right there on spin, and I will let you have the honors.
That's a good spin.
That's a really good spin, Steve. You should be proud of that spin. Oh! Congratulations, Snarky. You did it. You won. Oh, with a beautifully colorful, misguided guitar. Congratulations. Tell us about the song, Steve.
The song is sent by Matty Two Hats. He says, my boys.
Yes.
My brand new 60 cycle hum friendly tune is up. Psych / space rock vibes from Matty Two Hats from the land of Oz. Love to you both. X.
Come on, come on,
It's a lot of fun.
Amazing. Excellent job.
Thanks, Matty Two Hats.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, send us your songs. Whether they be fully produced, commercial, radio, ready hits, or just something you recorded in your bathroom straight into your phone with an acoustic guitar, whatever you want to do. You want to send us little jams?
Getting that toilet tile reverb.
We play everything that's sent to us, and that's not a joke.
Well, we did play that one song that was 20 minutes long, so we cut it off after like 6 minutes.
Yeah, we're not gonna endure 3-hour-long tracks, but we play every regular song that's sent to us. All right, bye everybody.
Stay grounded.